Hi guys. So today I have a one-on-one interview with Jeff. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Tito Jeff Live. So I'm gonna put the link below, and then he talks about he was just recently married to a Filipina, and currently living in the Philippines, and for over like 9 months now. So that was kind of interesting to see what does he like or dislike about the Philippines, and then he also share about his his problem with the Charles Swap account, and I thought that was kind of interesting, and then and also about applying the for the social security benefits in the Philippines, because when he went to the Philippines he was not 62 yet, so he has to apply once he was in the Philippines. And you can I'm going to put his channel down below, so you can go out check out his channel. I feel like it's very helpful for the foreigner. So here I'm going to start my interview with Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, I got one of those little ring lights on a tripod,
Okay.
and I'm still learning how to use it. But one thing I noticed is when I put my glasses on, if I have that light on, I can see how dirty they are, and it distracts me.
So basically, I just want to give you a heads up. I want to, like ask you your, like your story. What's the reason
Okay.
you decided to go to retire in the Philippines?
Okay.
Just your personal background, and then if you want to share that. But if I ask question that you don't feel comfortable, you can say no.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer it. I
Yeah. As
just to
long as
let
you
you
don't
know.
ask for any banking information or anything like that, I'm okay.
No, I want that. Actually, I was watching that. I was like, I'm just like, my mind was blowing. Like when you talking about that, you have to go through with the Social Security, and then you talk
That's
about
Schwab. Uh-huh.
you talk about the Charles Schwab, and I was thinking about that because I
Yeah.
watched the other blogger, and he highly recommended using Charles Schwab.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
so
why I joined them. I thought they were going to be great,
I
and then
know,
all of a sudden they put restrictions on us. Yeah.
and then when you talk about that, I just get dizzy. I say, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't know. Like so much.
Well, everything has worked out for me. Everything is okay now.
Okay.
They still have restrictions on, but they may change. I've heard another expat say that he heard that they were going to take the restrictions off
Okay.
because the Philippines was close to meeting some standards, some banking standards for
Okay.
to defeat money laundering.
But that is
I can talk about that if you want.
but that was very interesting though. I'm glad you shared that, because maybe a lot of foreigner may not know about that. Anyway,
Yeah,
so let's get started. I just want to kind of be a little bit formal. I'm gonna introduce you to my viewer. All right,
yeah.
folks. So here I am. I am with Tito Jeff. Tito Jeff. I want to introduce to my viewer, and Tito Jeff is from America, from the U.S. So can you just give my viewer your background a little bit, so we can getting to know you better?
I grew up in Kentucky, in America, almost all my life. I did live in St. Louis for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
but and Florida. So I've lived in different parts of the United States for some time, but mostly in Kentucky all my life, most of my life. I worked as a chemist for 20 something years.
Mm-hmm.
I was never married, and I was getting kind of lonely. And all of a sudden, I prayed about it, and I asked God to help me find a wife. And I met my wife Maricel on FilipinoCupid.com.
Uh huh.
As soon as we met, sparks flew, and
Mm.
that was in January of 2020. And
Oh, okay.
I came to visit her here in March, right after that, and
Mm-hmm.
that was right before the pandemic lockdown started here in the Philippines.
Mm.
So I was very fortunate to get to come to see her before the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a 2 year long distance relationship,
Uh huh.
and our plan was for her to come to America, to go to America on a K-1 fiance visa.
Mm-hmm.
And So this is guy. He's interviewing me. Okay.
Hello.
This is
How are you?
Maricel.
Hi, Maricel.
Stop in here. So, but then she was applying for a passport, Philippine passport,
Mm-hmm.
and the DFA, Department of Foreign Affairs, says, "Ma'am Maricel, why do you want two passports?"
Right,
And it
right.
turned out she had applied for one previously and forgotten about it,
Correct.
and I
Yes.
think using a fixer,
Right.
so she could go to Doha to work as an OFW. But
Correct.
that didn't work out, so she forgot all about it, and I think they stole the passport. She never received the passport.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Plus, so there were two applications, and they had two different birth certificates because her mother had applied for a birth certificate to replace one that she had lost,
Uh-huh.
and she used two different birth cities, and Maricel's name was spelled two different ways.
Right.
So lots of problems with the passport.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about December of 2020,
Uh-huh.
2021, I'm sorry, 2021.
Right.
And so she kind of gave up on getting the passport. So I said, well, let's just forget that. I'm almost 62, and next year I can start Social Security. I have enough money saved
Right.
that I can come over there and live on my savings for a little while.
Right.
And I'll just come to the Philippines and retire.
Oh, okay.
And I said, we may never get to come back to America.
Oh,
If
okay.
you can't get a passport, if we can't get a tourist visa, it may be impossible for us to come visit America. She said, okay.
Mm.
So I came here in April of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I arrived April 6th.
Uh-huh.
I had everything in order. I had all my documents.
Right.
Made it all the way to Seoul, showed my RT-PCR test in Seoul, and landed in Manila,
Right.
and I lost it. I lost my RT-PCR test, and I looked for 2 hours. The people there at the airport were very patient with me
Mm-hmm.
and tried to help me all that they could. But I had to spend 5 days in quarantine in Manila,
Mm.
and
Right,
I
right.
wasn't planning on that. So that caused some problems because I didn't have a phone number anymore. I canceled my phone number when I left the United States. I got that reinstated so I could order Food Panda. I could order food online,
Right. Let
and
me
had a little bit of cash, and I had to save enough cash at the end of 5 days for a second RT-PCR test so I could be released from quarantine.
mm-hmm.
So I was close to running out of money, so I was a little stressed out. And then all of a sudden, while I was there, a Typhoon Odette hit. So I was out of quarantine. I flew to Cebu, but she couldn't come to Cebu to meet me because there were no ferry service because of the typhoon. So it took me 9 days to get from Manila to Ormoc because of all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got here. We had a place to live. She had already rented a house for us. It wasn't much. And then we bought a house in May, and that's where I am now. And then we got married in July, and now in September we found out she's pregnant. So everything has moved really fast for
Very
me here.
fast, yeah. Right, right.
Yeah. And I like all of it. I'm enjoying every minute. It's a little stressful sometimes, but
Let me ask
Yeah.
you, have you been married before, or this is your first marriage?
no, I'm never married. No, I was never married.
Oh,
I
okay.
was kind of shy and not very good at dating, I guess. And I got used to being single.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I took care of my parents for about the last 10 years before I met Marisol.
Oh, okay.
And that affected my life, being a
Okay.
caretaker for aging parents.
Right, right, right. So, how did like Philippines came to mind? How did you know about Philippines, or how do you
Well,
know how to
like I
get
said,
to? Yeah.
I was getting really lonely
Right.
in about November of 2021. No, 2019. November of 2019, I was on all the dating websites.
Oh,
And like I
okay.
said, I prayed about it. I was like, God, I need a woman to love, a woman who needs to be loved, and a woman who has lots of love to give. That's my requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my requirements. And so I started doing my part. I got online dating websites. And
Right.
after a while in America on the dating websites, my age group and everything, I had met the people that I was going to meet, and I was getting crickets. No answers, no interest. And I'm not very good at going out and finding people to meet. So
Uh-huh.
so I'll just get on this Filipino and some other. I went on about 10 different dating websites. So I went up on FilipinoCupid.com,
Mm-hmm.
not really expecting to meet anybody there. And then I saw Maricel, and I said, "Oh, she's a very sweet girl,
Oh,
and I could." And she was wanting someone who was willing to relocate
right.
to the Philippines. I said, "Well, I could do that." After I had my mom was still living. I said, "My mother's not going to live much longer. I could do that after she passes away."
Mm.
And so thought about it, and it just worked out that way. I wasn't
Is
really
she the only one that
looking for a Filipino, but I knew that she was a sweet girl, and I'd heard good things about Filipinos, and
right?
I had some Filipino friends in America, and
Oh,
so
okay.
I said, what the heck, I'll just try this, and
Hmm.
the long distance relationship was really hard, but it worked out.
Now, is she the only Filipina that you saw on Philippine Cupid that you corresponded, or you have other,
Yeah, I talked to a few others, but
hmm
she's the first one that I really clicked with,
that really ring
and
the
it
ring, right?
it was almost immediate, an immediate connection. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. So
it went really fast.
what's the attraction? Is it the the photo, or is it something that she wrote there that
Yeah,
kind of caught your
both.
attention?
Yeah, the photo, she was dressed simply on the dating websites. There's lots of girls wearing push-up bras and makeup and sexy dresses
Right,
or
right,
bikinis.
right.
Yeah, you got a lot of
Oh,
that on
really?
there.
Okay.
And so
And
that
you don't
that
want
didn't
that.
that
You want
didn't
more
appeal to me.
conservative. You want more conservative woman.
Well, I just assumed if they're dressing like that, they're more interested in uh, maybe finding a man with money. I don't know.
Right, right, right.
And
Okay.
then, so she was dressed very simply, and she didn't wear much makeup. On her website, she said she wanted a simple life. She
Mm.
did want someone who was willing to come to the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget a few other things like that.
Mm.
And then when I did talk to her,
Uh-huh.
we just had a wonderful conversation, and you could tell she was just a very sweet little woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the
Yeah,
reason I asked you because I never been to like
I'm
those
sorry about my thing.
yeah, I never been to those dating websites, so I have no clue. I have zero idea.
Yeah,
But
there are lots of nice girls on there,
uh-huh.
nice women. Some of them have children. Some of them are single, never married. Like she was 36 when I met her, I
Uh-huh.
think, or 35. two
Okay.
years ago, 35.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of 20 and 22-year-olds on there willing
Uh-huh.
to date a 70-year-old man. And I said, nah, that's a little bit too much
Okay.
difference. So something's going on there that's not right.
All right.
But my lower end of the age limit for me was 35 to meet
Okay.
someone, whether they were in America or wherever they were. So I
Mm.
said that's kind of young, but still, she's mature. She's
So
she's grounded.
was she single or she was I guess she was
Single,
single,
never
right?
married. Yeah.
Okay.
Never married, no children.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that
And
was
she was working in Cebu City. She was
Mm.
working in Cebu City as a yaya. You know
Oh, okay.
yaya?
Yeah, yes. Yes, I
A
do.
housemaid, a live-in housemaid
Yeah.
for a family there in Cebu.
Uh-huh.
And so that's not easy. And she was doing that to support her family
Oh.
back in Montalbog, on the
Mhm.
island of Leyte, her village in
Mm.
Leyte.
Mm. I think
So she
she
sent most of her money home.
yeah, even though she is much younger than you, but I think that was a perfect though, perfect more mature, not like I don't have anything against age gap. Like I share it with my viewer. I try
Yeah.
to explain the situation also because there's a lot of bashing, with the age gap, especially when one is if the foreigner is much older and then they get this like maybe like 19 years old or 20 years old, and then there's a lot of like bashing.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, as long the two adults agree, I don't have any problem. Doesn't matter, what's the age gap. So, but yours is probably, that's the one thing that I would suggest to the foreigner. Look for somebody more mature, like
Yes.
Maricel, because first thing, if you like look for a Filipina like let's say 19 years old or 20 years old, even though I don't have any problem with that situation, but chances they have more responsibility for the parents, like sometimes they have to be helping their sibling, more like that. So, and then it's going to be a problematic with the relationship with the like the foreigner. You when they marry the foreigner, it's almost like you marry the whole family. You have to take care of the whole
Yeah, you
family.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the way I was. That's the way it was with with my family in America. I
uh,
saw my aunts and uncles take care of their parents and their siblings.
right.
So that's the way I grew up, and it's
Uh-huh.
not that different than what I'm experiencing here. And so I'm willing to help her family. It's not a big deal to me. Lots of foreigners criticize me for helping her family. Say, "Oh, you'll just turn into an ATM." I said,
Right.
"Well, I'm not. I'm not. I'm doing this because I love them. They're good people. They work hard.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we get along well, and I help her mother. I treat her mother like she's my mother, and
Okay.
that's the way it should be in a marriage, I think.
Yeah.
And I can't help with all of their problems,
Right,
but I
right.
do try to when they
You
need some help. Yeah, I'm
you
not afraid to help
yeah,
them.
you try to help, as much as you can, but of course, you have to take care of your two of you,
Yes,
your life.
yeah.
Are
Now
there
we got a baby. That's
are
yeah.
the family close by to where you are, or they are far away?
Yes. We are living in the city of Ormoc City on the island of Leyte,
Right.
and she grew up just down the road about probably 10 miles from here, maybe not
Oh,
that
okay,
far,
so very close
maybe
by.
5 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Baronguy Macabug,
Mm,
Macabug, Macabug,
okay.
and it's right on the coast, right on the water.
Okay.
Her brothers are fishermen and coconut pickers and
Yeah.
things like that. So uh, yeah,
Let
she
me
she grew up close to me. We wanted to stay close to the family,
okay,
but
good.
she also wanted to kind of get out of the village.
Mm. Mm. Let me ask you though, did you like sell out everything you own in state and then move to the Philippines?
I did.
Okay,
So I knew I was coming here to retire. I
right.
didn't want my family to have to take care of my business.
Okay,
So I didn't own a home. I was a renter all of my life,
right,
and I just had a small apartment, and that's how I could save money for one thing to come here.
right.
And then I didn't have a lot of possessions. One thing I did bring with me were some hand tools, mechanic tools, and let's turn in. That's I'm glad I did that because I have a little multi cab
Uh
and I
huh.
can do some repairs
Yeah, I
and
seen
oil
that.
changes and things. Something to do, and then and I brought some keepsakes, some family photos, things
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Right,
clothes. I brought my medications that I need. I
right.
use a CPAP machine. I brought that with me. So I brought about 3 suitcases. You're allowed to. I had to pay for an extra.
Oh, okay. Now,
I brought my computer,
mm-hmm.
my tablet, brought my telephone,
What
and I had to
was
buy
it?
a new one. I bought a new one when I got here because it was dying.
What was it?
And then
What was it? Easy decision to to get rid of everything and commit yourself to moving to the Philippines? Was it very easy decision for you?
yeah, it was some things. I didn't have a lot of good stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
people say all I had was junk, but I loved
Oh,
my junk.
of course, we all love
And
our junk.
some things were hard to let go of. But I had a couple of yard sales.
Right.
I sold some ham. I used to be a ham radio operator. I sold some of that equipment online to local ham operators.
Uh huh.
I sold my automobile to a guy who did some body work on the car for me.
Uh huh.
I had before I came, I thought she was coming to America. So not long before we made this decision for me to come here, I bought a Jaguar XJ4,
Mm.
8-cylinder, and it would get up and go. I would do 120 miles an hour easy.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
ask me how I know.
Yeah.
And I love that car. So I had to
Yeah.
sell that real quick. I had to turn around and sell it. So I sold it back to the guy
Uh huh.
that I bought it from, in a car lot in Lexington. And
Oh.
I sold it to him for less than I paid for it so that he could, turn around and make a profit. I knew I couldn't get back. There's no way I was going to get back what I paid for it.
Right.
So
Right.
I had
Right.
to be willing to take a loss on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so some things I just had to bite the bullet and sell things for much less than what I paid for them. Some
Okay.
things I just gave away, some to my neighbors in my apartment building.
Uh huh.
Um, but
So
yeah,
there.
I started getting rid of stuff not long after I met her. I
Mm,
started planning for this,
okay.
reducing my.
So no more. You never thought about maybe one day you will go back to U.S. or something like that. You would. It's not
Once
in
once
your plan.
we gave up on the fiance visa,
Uh
I
huh.
told her the best way. I thought the best way for her to come to America would be on a tourist visa.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but I can't be sure that we could get one. And I come to find out it's very hard. The other way is to come back on a marriage visa. And I said, I don't know if we're going to want to do that or not, because it
Oh,
takes a year and a half to 2 years for that to process.
right, right.
So I said, let's just plan on me coming and never coming back.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
just plan that way. And if we do get to come to America, then that's good and no problem.
okay,
But let's not plan on me ever coming back to America,
okay,
except maybe some emergency for my family,
right,
just for me to go visit and come back real quick,
okay,
because it's expensive. Even if we went to visit on a tourist visa, we would have to have tickets for. We're going to have a baby, so 3 tickets.
mm-hmm,
We'd have to have a rental car while we're here for a
right,
month. If we came to stay for at least a month,
right.
we would have to have hotel expenses, food on the road expenses. It would be at
Yeah.
least $10,000.
10,000. Yeah, that's always
Yeah,
the
to come and visit for a
yep,
month.
yep.
And
That's what we
that would be
always
difficult with
yeah.
my budget. And we could do it, but I would have to burn up some of my retirement savings that I would never get back.
Mm.
Because I can't.
Yeah,
Really
ten
don't know.
thousand
I
is
can't really,
about it's about right, for a couple,
yeah,
traveling. Yeah. The same thing, like if we have to go back to the Philippines, we usually the budget was usually around 10,000, to go.
and the other way to do that was we could come as a tourist and stay for 6 months and maybe
Uh,
extend our visa for a year and stay for a year. And I would get a job and work while we were there and have an apartment. But still, I would have to have, first month's rent, a deposit,
mm-hmm.
furniture, utensils for the kitchen, everything you need to set up house in America, even if it's temporary, even if you went to Goodwill and bought stuff, you still
It's
have to spend
it's
money.
very hard right now.
I'd have to buy a car. I'd
Yeah,
have to buy a car, pay cash for it,
it's
a
almost
used
like
car, temporary.
it's
Yeah,
almost like you're 20 again, starting
yeah,
out again. It's difficult.
right. Yeah,
I don't know how people can let's say immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I'm an
yeah.
immigrant. I came here many years ago, and
Uh-huh.
back then, you can work at the McDonald's and you can survive. But
Yeah.
that was in the early 80s. You can survive
Uh-huh.
working at the McDonald's or something like that. But
Yeah.
now you just cannot. It's just like difficult. So
Yeah.
I don't know how especially with the rental housing. I was just
Yeah.
wondering how people. I was lucky. I was able to I bought my house. Of course it was on a mortgage, but it's already been paid out. But
Mhm.
but for somebody going to start out, I don't know how they can do it now. Everything's
Yeah,
so
especially if you don't come here with much money, it's hard. Now they
yeah,
can get assistance for immigrants now. I think some financial assistance.
yeah,
And when my mother was aging, I was at the hospital a lot.
right,
Lots of the custodians were immigrants,
right, right,
things like that. So they can help them get jobs at hospitals and things, cleaning buildings.
right, right.
It still doesn't pay a lot, but it's better than probably a little better than McDonald's because they get benefits, health
Mm,
benefits, and things like that. So,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then yeah, actually Nanny is very in demand here. Nanny job.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, very in demand. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a lot of
yeah,
people always looking for a nanny here. Um,
yeah. And those are
anyways,
the kinds of jobs that Marcia, if we come on the migrant visa, a spousal visa,
right, yeah.
I started the application process yesterday online.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't finished yet. But if we come on the immigrant visa, I'm
Yeah.
receiving Social Security now.
Mm-hmm.
Once our child is born, then we'll get some dependent
Yep.
money for Social
Correct.
Security. So we'll have um, some Social Security income. When we get there, then we're going to have jobs. I'm limited as to how much I can earn because I took retirement early.
Right.
So I can't earn more than $21,240 a year,
Mm-hmm.
which 40 hours a week is an $11 an hour job.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll have to have a job, probably full time with benefits.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
I'll probably work part time. So one of us will work during
Mm-hmm.
the day, take care of the baby. The other one comes home. The other one goes out to work, and
Yeah.
we switch places.
Yep.
But
The-
we can have a good income on that actually.
So
But based, with my Social Security supplementing that. So,
Yeah, so you're in good situation. You can be in both,
yeah,
either in the Philippines or in the U.S. That's really, that's really good news.
right.
Not many people have that option, but you got that option.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now, let me see here. So what is the so seems like you just been in the Philippines for like not even a year, right? You just been there for like 6 months,
9 months.
9 months.
9 months. Yeah.
All right. So what can you tell now? What can you tell? Let's say the expat or the foreigner about the Philippines. Are you okay? You think you can make that as a home? For
Yeah. I like it here. There's some similarities between where I live and living in Kentucky.
uh huh.
My biggest problem has been adjusting to not having a job. All my
Oh,
life I worked.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
And
Okay.
in America,
Uh huh.
our identity is wrapped up in what we do for a living a lot
Right.
of the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And so I got up and went to work every day,
Uh huh.
and that was my life. Here, I have no job. And so I'm adjusting to that. I'm still adjusting.
Well, you know
And it
what?
can be a little stressful.
This is your job now. You're going to be a blogger. This is going to be your job.
Yeah,
I'm glad you have
I'm trying
this.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
glad.
I didn't have many subscribers for a long time. I only had 150 up until about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've got about 300 more subscribers.
Yeah.
And it's paused again. And I think it'll keep going up. So I'm going to try to
Yeah.
do that.
You will keep.
If I can make a couple of $100 a month, that would be great. Help
Yep.
with the groceries.
No, you'll get there.
But
You'll get there.
yeah.
Just
So
continue.
language is the other thing. I've learned some Bisaya. I can speak a little bit of Bisaya,
Uh huh.
and it helps. Uh, if I'm in a situation where I didn't speak any Bisaya,
Uh
I would
huh.
be extremely isolated. So it helps to learn the language. And I hear a lot of foreigners, they just don't. Some of them just don't want to try.
Right.
Some of them don't know how to learn. There are some good videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The Jonah channel, Jonah. She's very good, a very good teacher of Bisaya. There's some books out there you can buy, so you can learn and learn from your girlfriend or your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to learn. So language has been difficult for me. I speak other languages, so it's easier for me than other people. But still, learning a new language at my age is not
It's
easy.
not easy, right?
I speak Chinese, Spanish, and German, and so the grammar from Chinese is similar to the Bisaya, and you use a lot of Spanish words in Bisaya, so that has helped me.
What did you
So
learn to speak other language? Where did you learn?
in Lexington, Kentucky, I went to the Lexington Chinese School on Saturdays
So
for about 3 years.
you 讲国语啊？you 懂国语？
我会呀，
有会？
我会说汉语，可是我的汉语不太好。
Oh.
I can speak Chinese, but my Chinese is not very good.
Uh-huh.
So after 3 years, I was pretty good at it, but I got tired of going to school every Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not good
And
either.
I learned Spanish at my job in Lexington. I had a company that I worked for called Alltech,
Uh-huh.
and they gave Spanish classes.
Oh.
And I learned German when I was in high school.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing. I always love to learn other language, but I just could not do that because it's so difficult. I went to I even went to enroll in like a French class, and I was so bad. I have to kick out myself, because everybody was so good. They were so advancing, and then I was left behind, so
Yeah.
I stopped going.
Also, I'm not really good at learning languages, but I work at it. I enjoy it,
Oh, okay.
even though I'm not great at it. There are some people who pick it up really easily.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not always easy for me, but it's easier once you learn one language. It's easier to learn another one. I've found. So,
I think so. I think that's what probably once you learn one language, much easier for you, because you kind of pick up the ingredients, So
yeah.
anyway, so let's see. So anything that let's say what can you say the positive and the negative about the Philippines, for foreigner, for you, for what
When I came to the Philippines, it was April in Kentucky. and it was still cold. I don't
Uh-huh.
miss the cold weather at all. I like the weather here.
Right.
I have to adjust to the rain. Rain. It started raining here right after Christmas. It didn't end until about 4 days ago.
Uh-huh.
So we had lots of rain, um,
Okay.
and that's okay. It's not a big deal, but that's a big adjustment. Um, the weather I like, the food I like, uh,
What
most
what what
things.
what
There's
kind
some
of
things
what
that
kind of food that that you like Filipino food? What are the food that you like?
my favorite dish is called dynamite.
Uh-huh. What is
Dynamite.
dynamite?
Dynamite is a green pepper, chili pepper,
Right?
about this long. They slice it down the middle. They stuff it with cheese and pork, and then they wrap it in a lumpia wrapper and deep fry it. Oh, that's good.
I never heard of that. What is that a
Yeah.
Filipino? Maybe
Is
that's
that what?
is that a Filipino dish?
Yes, Filipino. Mhm.
I never heard
I've
of
never
that.
seen it before here.
Or maybe it's a
I'm assuming it's Filipino. Yeah. And
maybe
then, of
it
course, I like the lechon
yeah.
barbecue, the roast pig on the spit. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't. You don't eat a lot of fish in Kentucky, seafood.
Right, right.
So I'm learning what I like and don't like about seafood here. I never did like eating the bones, so I have to learn how to pick
I
out the
know.
bones.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Squid, we get good squid here. You can't
Mhm.
get good fresh seafood in Kentucky, I don't think.
Uh-huh.
Even though we got airplanes that flying into Kentucky from the Gulf Coast every day,
Uh-huh.
still getting good fresh seafood in Kentucky is not easy, and
Uh,
it's expensive. The fish is pretty cheap here.
yes.
So we get tuna, squid, some small fish that they just cook whole, uh, like lambarok. It's called. I like lambarok.
Uh-huh.
What else? Chicken. Got good fried chicken here, better than Kentucky fried chicken, at a little restaurant called Krispy King,
Uh-huh.
and it's like 40 pesos or
I know.
80 cents per piece.
I heard you say that you love the fried chicken there, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
and
do you pretty much cook your food, or you eat out a lot? Do you go out a lot, or pretty
we
much?
mostly eat in. My wife cooks, and
Uh-huh.
about 3 or 4 times a week we might eat out. Some
Three,
some
three,
weeks we may not eat out at all. I don't
wow,
know.
three, four
Um,
times a week you eat out. Wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
well, it's usually not something expensive. So like Krispy Kreme is pretty cheap.
Yeah,
We can go to a restaurant called Mang Inasal, which is
right.
usually a chicken leg quarter that's been cooked on a grill with, and after it's been
Uh huh.
soaked in soy sauce,
Yeah.
and you get rice and something else with it. I forget. And then that's about for two people about $8.
Right.
So
Yeah.
restaurant food here is a little bit cheaper than in
Very
America. So
cheap.
it's
Yeah.
easier to eat out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, cause
So in America,
like
it would be $8 each. You know.
yeah, that's very reasonable. My wife and I, we hardly go out and eat. You know, we usually cook at
Yeah.
home, and then
Yeah.
because I don't like to go to fancy restaurant. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a like a fast food type. You know, I like to order in and
Yeah.
out. You know, I want to pass. I don't drink. You know, that's the thing. You know, when you go to a fancy restaurant, you got to enjoy your wine. You know, we don't do that.
Mhm.
We don't even
Yeah.
eat dessert. So we are like on the run all the time. So we hardly eat out. We prefer to eat home at home. Then we were thinking if we're gonna retire in the Philippines, because of like you were saying, everything was so cheap that we may have to eat out more. But at the same
Yeah.
time, we also were concerned about like because we kind of stay away from like fat and also salty food, and if you're gonna
Yeah.
eat out, you cannot control that, so
Yeah. More difficult to control. Yeah.
yeah, more difficult to
Anyway, wherever you
control.
go, yeah, eating out is not always going to be healthy options
Yeah, but
available.
what I did, Jeff, what I did suggest to my wife is, let's say if we have to go to the Philippines, then we have to buy a lot of stuff from the restaurant. We will just buy like a one dish or two, and then bring it home, and then we just cook more
Yeah.
rice or just plain more vegetables. So kind of balance the salt. You don't eat too much salt. So
Yeah.
that was I was just suggesting to my wife if we go back to the Philippines, and so far right now like we were still debating. Do you really think that we can go back to the Philippines and retire there? After living
Yeah.
so many years here in the U.S., you kind of adapted. We already kind of adapted to the lifestyle here. And then it's funny though when we go on vacation, right? We go on vacation. What normally I only got like 2 weeks. The most is 3 weeks. When we go to Asia, I got 3 weeks. And then
Yeah.
at the very end, like second weeks, the both of us are dying to get back home. We just miss. I was telling my viewer, when we went back to the Philippines, of course, we got to meet a lot of my family and also friends, and they were very nice. They kind of miss us. They treat us every day. To good food, fancy restaurant, but it's Asian food. And then after like I think almost the 10 days, we were like, I have to like excuse ourselves, like to get out from my family, because we were dying of having a burger. you know? but we
Yeah.
want but we don't want to embarrass my family. Like I have to excuse that. We were at the mall, and then I said, can we maybe we have to go look at something. Can we come back here and meet in 2 hours? And then say, okay, no problem. So we had to sneak away and go to like a Burger King or McDonald's,
Yeah.
to grab.
Yeah.
And I heard you were saying that you kind of miss like that too, right? A burger or pizza, something like that.
Yeah. It's hard to find. So Ormoc City is like the city of 250,000. Now, if you
Okay.
go to Manila or somewhere, a bigger city, or even Cebu, you could
Yeah.
probably find these things easier. But it's
Yeah.
a small city.
Right.
Everything, people have to understand that everything that comes to Ormoc comes on a boat,
Oh.
because everywhere you live in the Philippines is an island, and so
Uh,
it's not consistent. What you get at restaurants is not consistent. Sometimes they're out
okay.
of stock of things. There's a restaurant in the SM shopping center where I'd like to get a hamburger, but they never
Yeah.
have them, out of stock.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and it's a popular restaurant, so maybe that's why.
So,
But it's hard to find a good hamburger here
oh.
in Ormoc City. McDonald's tastes just about like it does in America. Not very
Well,
different.
you can make it
There's some
yourself.
things that,
Why don't you make it
but
yourself?
yeah, I can buy ground beef at the
Yeah.
supermarket, and
Yeah.
it's good. And I can make good hamburgers at home. And
Right.
I found one little restaurant here that I like, and I haven't been back. I need to go back again. But I don't eat out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so it's I don't go frequently. But
Mm.
it was a pretty good hamburger. It was well cooked.
Yeah.
Good beef, good bun, good toppings,
Yeah.
and I had the double, and I was expecting the double to be about 3 or 4 inches tall. Well, it was about 6 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
But it was delicious. But it was really, so. Next time I'll get the single. But
So you.
restaurants are one of the things I've noticed about restaurants, and if you have a wife, if you're dining as a couple or even
Yeah.
single,
Yeah.
some things on the menu are meant for more than one person. But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't say that here. They just assume that's what you're ordering. And
Oh.
so I'll order a dish thinking that's going to be for me.
Uh-huh.
And my wife will order a dish, and I think we share, and
Right.
I'm not used to sharing food. But because I ate by myself so long, being a
Yeah.
single man. And then the dishes are bigger than what I expect. I still
Wow.
haven't gotten used to it.
Oh, I
So
thought
you can have
I
one dish for
was.
2 people, and it's only about $5,
Yeah.
for a good meal, actually, for a decent meal.
I'm surprised to hear that, because I know in Asia usually they're smaller, especially the Philippines,
That's
they're
what I
small.
would expect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Okay, so that's what's the okay, you talk about the things that you like. What's the negative that maybe.
Well, you can hear the dogs barking in the background. I'm starting to get used to that. Believe it or not, it's
Uh-huh.
starting to not bother me so much.
All
But it
right.
can be really annoying. When I'm sitting here trying to watch television, we don't have
Uh-huh.
air conditioning in our living room.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes the dogs bark so much, I have to turn off. If I'm watching a YouTube movie or something, I just hit the pause button,
Uh-huh.
and or if I can't, I have to turn up the volume. Well, then my wife complains because I've got the TV too loud.
Uh-huh.
And so barking dogs, if you come here and you don't like the sound of roosters,
Yeah.
you're in big trouble.
Yep.
Some people just can't stand the sound of a rooster. I love roosters. I grew up in the
Yeah.
country. My grandmother had chickens. And so I kind of like it's nostalgic
Oh,
to me, that
really?
sound of rooster.
Oh, okay. I
Now,
didn't
if
know
it's
that.
right next door, right outside your bedroom window,
Uh-huh.
maybe not so. I'm not going to enjoy that too much. I had a rooster here at my house for a little while, and he
Right.
was pretty loud.
Very loud.
So dogs and roosters and karaoke. So
Yep.
that's if you live in a small village on the weekends, especially, you're going to hear
Yep. Yep.
karaoke all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
These people work hard, and on the weekend they want to have fun.
Yeah.
So they're drinking beer and singing songs and relaxing.
Exactly.
And that's good.
That's
That's
what
the way
that.
it should be. But if you're not used to hearing that all weekend, it's going to drive you nuts.
Yep.
Now, here in my neighborhood, I live in a little bit of I would call it almost upper class neighborhood, and we don't have karaoke. We do have roosters. We do have lots of dogs,
Oh.
but not so much karaoke. Once in a while, a neighbor will turn it on, but I don't really hear much.
Okay. So you bought your
So
house.
those are the biggest things.
Did you say that
Huh?
you buy your house, right? You bought a house.
Yes, we bought a house and paid cash for it. I had enough savings that I could just pay cash.
How much is your house? How much do you want to share with the
We
viewer?
bought a house, a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom bungalow, I guess you'd call it, for 3.5 million pesos, which is approximately $70,000.
Oh, okay.
And
Is that
I think we got a pretty good deal. Now, there are parts of the Philippines where you can buy a much bigger house than I have for that same price.
Oh.
But here in Orma, for some reason, real estate prices went up a few years ago. And I haven't investigated this yet. I don't know why. But they say that real estate prices went way up. And I have suspicion it has to do with maybe zoning laws or something like that, or restrictions.
What was it easy?
It really is a growing city. People are moving here from outer provinces for a better life, kind of like moving from the country to the city. So it's a growing town, and that drives up prices.
When you
but I think I got a pretty good deal, just about what it's worth.
When you say people are moving into Ormoc City, why is it? Is it because of business or job or what? What
business, job? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what. There's not a lot of, there's no manufacturing industry here that I know of.
Right.
The main industry here seems to be sugarcane. Sugarcane. They grow vegetables in the mountains, and you have lots of retail shops here. So people come here to go shopping. Retail stores. You have a big market, public market. There's shipping coming in and out of here. And I'm not sure what the other big industries are. This is a college town also. So
okay.
You got 4 or 5 colleges.
Now when you
buy, learn more about this. We'll talk about it.
When you buy your house, was it easy process? How long does it take you? The whole thing, looking at the house and.
Yeah, it took about 6 months from the time we bought it for us to get the title. So the title is
6 months. You say 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah.
Wow. Why that long? I mean, what's the long wait?
That's the other thing. Here in the Philippines, you have to hurry up and wait. If you're doing something that involves the government, it's going to take you longer. The only thing I can say that did not take me very long was my driver's license. It took me about 3 hours to convert my driver's license here.
Okay.
But just anything you have to do with the government is going to take you longer here. You have to wait in line longer here. You just have to learn to be patient. To pay my water bill, I had to go stand. Now I'm learning different ways to pay bills online. But to go pay my water bill, there were like 50 people waiting in line. I got in the senior citizens line, which they have now. I don't know if they had that when you were here. Senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and pregnant women will have a separate line. And so I got in that line. And it took me about
the
15 minutes.
The senior citizen discount is also applied to foreigner.
I've heard no. I think the answer is no.
Okay.
It's strictly for Filipino citizens.
Right.
But I met a foreign guy who says he has a senior citizen discount card,
Uh-huh.
and he said just go talk to the Baronguy captain, and they can fix it up for you. So the
Oh,
Baronguy captain here in the Philippines, I live in Ormoc City, and then Ormoc City is divided up into what are called barangays.
yes.
Barangay comes from even before the Spanish were here. They had barangays,
Mm-hmm.
small local government units, and it
Yeah.
was like just a village, and it was
Yeah.
organized. I won't go
The
into
a
that.
village
So
leader.
yeah, I live in Barangay Mejia. She's from Barangay Macabug. So every barangay has a captain, and you go to the captain, and they can help you with lots of things, I think.
Oh, okay.
So he said, go see the barangay captain. I'm going to go check on that. And if I can get that, I'll make a video about it. But the law, as it's written, I think, is really strictly for Filipino citizens.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So when you were like when you waiting, you said 6 months for your the whole thing, the title. That
Yeah.
were you at one point concerned about of
No,
waiting?
I knew it would take a long time. I knew
Oh,
that it would
okay.
take a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew at least 3 months. I
Okay.
wasn't expecting soon, but I expected it
Right.
to be at least 3 months. Yeah.
I was
And we were
thinking.
living here.
Yeah, I was
So we
thinking.
bought the house. We had a deed of sale, and so we were able to move in. We didn't have to wait all that time to move
Oh,
in.
okay. Now, what about healthcare? I mean, do you have health insurance? Since you're only
I do.
62, right? You're only
When I
62,
came here, I did not have health insurance.
right?
My plan was to be self-insured. So um, I've talked about this in a video. I think you need to have a good savings account. If you come here as a single
Uh huh.
American expat, you need to have money in the bank. And I came with a little over 200,000 between my retirement savings and my cash savings. My cash savings was for buying a house,
Right.
settling in, living until I could get my Social Security. So I used it for my income, for traveling, those things.
Okay.
And I can use, and I also used that because I had to go in the hospital not long after I got here, about 2 months after I arrived. I had gastroenteritis. I was in the hospital for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, IV antibiotics, and it cost me about 50,000 pesos, which is $1,000 for
Mm.
4 days in the hospital, including an emergency room visit, all of the medications.
Wow. That was
So
a
I knew it was cheaper. Healthcare is cheaper here,
yeah.
except for medications. Expect to pay the same in the Philippines as you would pay for buying a medicine in America without insurance.
Oh
So I take
wow.
Eliquis. It's a blood thinner. Before I left,
Yes. Yeah.
after I returned from my visit to the Philippines,
Uh huh.
I had a problem with atrial fibrillation. I had to have that fixed. I had to have my heart shocked back into rhythm. So I've been on a blood thinner ever since then because I'm at higher risk of a stroke.
Yeah.
The blood thinner is about $1.80 per tablet here in the Philippines.
Oh.
Same in America. It's about $2 a tablet in America.
Can you
So
get that prescription from somewhere else like Canada? I think it's somebody saying was much cheaper or something like that. Can you have you?
well, not being a Canadian citizen, I don't think I can. I'm not
Oh no
sure.
no you
I'm
can
not sure how that would work.
you
Can I?
can a lot of
Well, I'll look into that.
a lot of
I'll look into
American
that, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to be
But
a Canadian citizen because I know that a lot of American are buying from Canada.
yeah,
You should check that. You
I'll
should
look into that.
yeah you should check that.
But if you come here and you get sick and you need medicine, you're not going to be able to wait
Right
for it to
right.
arrive from Canada. You're going to need it right away. So you
You're
should
right.
expect medicines to cost the same as in America in your budget.
Okay.
Hospital expenses are cheaper, much cheaper.
Are they
Doctor expenses. I pay $10 not a copay, just a payment. $10 to go see my cardiologist. It was $40 actually for the first visit, but that included an EKG and something else that for my very first visit with her, and that was a long discussion about my health. So it's like an induction visit.
mm,
So, but in general, doctor visits are much cheaper here, $5, $10. A dental visit, $10. $10 to pull a tooth.
mm,
I bought dentures for my my sister-in-law full set costs about $200.
Mm.
So medical expenses in general are much cheaper. You can, if you have enough savings, you can pay for it yourself. Now I do
Right.
have PhilHealth. I did buy into the Filipino
Right.
state-run health system called PhilHealth, and
Yes.
that cost me about 17,000 pesos a year. It's $350 a year for insurance. Now that
Uh,
won't pay much. It won't pay for any medicine, but it will help me get into a hospital because some hospitals require you to pay a down payment if you want to be
mm,
admitted.
right.
With the Health card, they won't require that, and
Okay.
so I can get admitted faster. And it will pay up to 30, maybe 50% of a hospital visit.
Oh,
So
okay. That's good.
if I'd had that when I was here and hospitalized, instead of
Yeah.
$1,000, I would only pay maybe $700, so
What?
that would save me some money. So
So
it's worth having.
what would you say the the condition of the hospital? You said you've been to the hospital in the Philippines. What can you say about the condition?
I would say it was adequate.
Adequate.
I
Okay.
got good health care. I got good treatment while I was there. Good nurses. I had a private room, air conditioned, with a private bathroom.
Oh.
Now, you couldn't drink the water in the room. The hospital water was not potable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I in the room, I didn't have any fancy equipment. The only equipment they had in the room was an oxygen outlet in the wall.
Uh
There's
huh.
no call bell. You can't be by yourself and call the nurse. You have to have someone to stay with you when you visit the
Right.
hospital, when you stay in the hospital.
Right.
For one thing, the nurses will not order prescriptions from the pharmacy. They will
Mm-hmm.
bring a prescription to your companion,
Uh
and
huh.
then they go buy the medicine at the hospital pharmacy. If the hospital pharmacy doesn't have it, they have to go to town to buy it,
Uh huh.
and then they deliver it to the nurses, and then the nurses dispense the medication. So
Mm.
that's a big difference. It
Okay.
worked just fine, no problems, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different.
Mm.
And I had really good health. The nurses were very conscientious, good doctors. I saw a gastroenterologist came to see me while I was there, and he was very good. He was amazed at how much I knew about my health
Uh huh.
because before I came to the Philippines, I had to have my colon removed. So I told him
Mm.
all about that, and he was amazed that I was kind of literate in my healthcare
Yeah.
knowledge of it.
All right.
Because most of his patients are not educated. They don't know anything about what's going on. So
Yeah.
he liked it.
Yeah, I like to learn things too. You know what? When you're getting older, everything pop up. Like you never had it
Meal,
before.
my hospital food was delicious. It was Filipino food.
Oh,
Um, there were a couple of things that I didn't like, but nothing that I hated. They don't
uh,
give you anything to drink, or at least where I was. They didn't give me anything to drink with my meal. So we
oh,
had to have our own drinking water or soft drinks or whatever we wanted. We'd have to bring that in from the outside.
oh.
Snacks
Okay,
also.
okay. So you also bought a truck, right? And then how much is your truck?
We bought that before I came. Actually, I met her, like I said, in January 2020. She opened a little Sorry store in August of 2020. I helped her open that.
Uh huh.
And then she wanted to buy a vehicle. And I was hesitant to do that. But she said, well, it would help me run the store. And it really didn't. She just wanted a vehicle. So but I said, and at that time, I was thinking I might come to the Philippines then. And I said, well, it's all right. I'll have to buy one when I get there. I might
Yeah.
as well go ahead and buy one now. So it cost us about, I think, let's see, 130,000 pesos, which is about $2,600
Okay.
for
Wow.
a used four-wheel drive
Uh huh.
Suzuki Scrum. And it's a small two-person, two people ride in the cab.
Yeah.
You have a bed, and it's not very big. Won't go very fast. It's a Japanese designed
Uh huh.
for small farms, small construction jobs. It's not designed to drive more than 50 kilometers per hour, which is about 48 miles an hour on the highway. After that, it's a little bit unstable,
Uh
and
huh.
it may even start to heat up a little bit.
Oh,
Not
really?
overheat, but the engine will
Oh.
get a little bit warmer.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
I've seen some here that go faster, but this one that I drive it's called an F6A engine.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as fast as you want to drive it.
That
So it's
that
good for getting around town. That's all I need.
yeah, yeah.
There's no interstate highway here, so I'm not going to drive 70 miles an hour. The fastest you can drive on the highway here is about 60 kilometers per hour, which is 6 times 6. Oh, that's only, well, people drive maybe 45 miles an hour here.
About
That's about it.
45. Yeah.
50.
Does
Yeah.
does your truck has AC? Does it has AC?
Mine does not. Now you can get all kinds of different vehicles here,
Okay.
from my old basic truck with no aircon. Some of these vehicles, the Suzuki's that I'm describing, you can get them with air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a brand new Mitsubishi or Suzuki car here at a car lot. They
Uh-huh.
have a Ford dealership here
Uh-huh.
where you can go buy a brand new Ford pickup truck. Um, and there's lots of those around here, and they are status symbols, because most people don't own a vehicle here.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
you can buy new cars. I don't know how you go about it as a foreigner. Financing one, uh, probably need a large down payment, and I don't know about getting financing for an expat foreigner who's not married.
mm,
I just don't know how that works.
now the how about like when you have service, do you go to the dealer or you have a local mechanic looking at your truck?
I've done some of the work myself. I had to replace part of the steering mechanism. I did that myself.
Oh, okay.
Back in the summer, after we bought the house, we were doing renovations. I didn't have time to work on it. I hit a bump and it wouldn't run right. And I knew that because it has a carburetor, I knew something was wrong with the float rail. I knew what was wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but for me to fix it, it would take me all day. So we hired a guy that they knew, and he came and removed the carburetor, repaired it, and put it back in within an hour.
Wow.
And I paid him $20.
Oh, wow.
I asked him how much he charged. He said, "What do you want to pay?" I said, "Well, how about 1,000 pesos?" It was well worth it. 20
Oh.
bucks.
Oh,
It
you know
only
what?
cost me.
I
It
I
only
hate
cost me $300, $400, $500 in America.
I hate it when people throw that at you. Like how much you willing to pay. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I knew if he didn't. I knew he didn't expect a lot.
Uh-huh.
I know what things cost here. So, and the people around me, my wife approved of it. She said that was okay. So I
Yeah,
didn't
I think it's
get ripped
okay.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty
Yeah.
reasonable. Does your wife still have her Sari store?
No, she got rid of that as I was transitioning. I was coming here. Yeah, the
Uh,
sorry store for her it kept her busy. She's worked all her life. After
mhm.
I met her, she was in Cebu, like I said, working as a yaya.
Yeah.
When she went back there, things had changed because of COVID. They didn't want her to come in the house because she'd been around me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cruel. They made her stay in the garage.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, "You need to get out of there." And so she did. She came home, and
Yeah.
I said, "I'll support you in your village. It doesn't take much." But she wanted something to do. She couldn't just sit around. So
Yeah.
she wanted to open a sorry store.
Right.
And she worked at that 14 hours a day. She was not keeping records. She didn't have any idea how much money she was making. And I doubt that she was probably making more than $10 a day.
Yeah.
And
And
for 14 bucks,
and
14 hours a day.
and I'm gonna bet
And after a
you
while,
that
she got really tired of it.
And I'm also gonna bet you that she also probably get like what we call like I'll pay you later. Can I just
Yeah.
borrow some oil or rice? I'll pay you later.
Utang. Yeah.
Utang.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Credit. So yeah, she had some credit. She had
yep.
family members that needed stuff, so she would just give it to them.
Yeah.
And she closed that because she knew I was coming here and that I was bringing my income with me and that she wouldn't have to work. And so now she stays busy, mostly cleaning house,
Uh-huh.
and
Just
and
just
she
a
has time to
housewife. Yeah,
relax.
take care of you. Let me ask
Yeah,
you like a more personal thing. You don't have to answer this, but I'm gonna ask you. If you feel like it. Do you like is your arrangement with her in terms of money? Do you like give her an allowance or you just whatever you pay everything? How's the arrangement with your wife?
we have a budget that we sat down and we agreed upon.
Uh-huh.
And I think every couple needs a budget, so you got to know where your money's going.
Yeah.
If we just spend our money willy nilly, we would spend everything I have and not have anything to show for it. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
So I do give her an allowance. I give myself an allowance for
Okay.
personal spending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have pocket money, but for groceries we have a certain amount. And I've got a YouTube video about our budget, $1,400 a month
Now
budget,
the
and we can live on
when
that.
you
We're
said
living pretty frugally on that, but we also have a little extra income.
when you said you gave her allowance is the allowance for her only, right? For her only, not
Yeah,
for the
it's
house.
just for, it's not for the house. If
For
she
her.
takes her allowance and spends it on something for the house, then we take it out of the budget and put it back in her pocket.
How
So
much?
it's
How
for her
much
to go
is?
buy. If she wants to go buy a purse or
Yes.
some makeup or an outfit or whatever, if she wants to give it to someone, she can do whatever she wants to with
How
it.
much is the allowance you gave her? I think
It's
people.
not much. It's about, compared to America, it's like 5,000 pesos a month, about $100 a month.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah, and
it.
that's what I give myself too. We don't spend a lot of money. Most things
Yeah.
are covered in our budget.
I don't mean to be nosy on that one, but I think
That's okay.
no, because it's important though when you a foreigner and married to a Filipina, some foreigner have to understand that you have to give your wife allowance, because they want to
Yeah,
have their own money. So
yeah,
I thought it's very it's very it's good for foreigner to know that. So that's good.
if
So
I if I was living in America and married to an American woman, I would expect to do the same thing.
yeah,
Because when I lived in America, I did the same thing for myself. I gave myself,
yeah,
I would call it mad money or pocket money.
uh-huh.
I didn't just spend all of my money. I saved. I had a good job. I had a good salary, so it was easy for me to save money. But
I think
I didn't spend all of my money.
it's better be honest, that way than to hide money. I hate hide money. And
Yeah.
it
No, I'm
happened.
very open. She knows exactly how much money I have coming in.
Hmm.
She knows exactly how much money I have in the bank, and she doesn't, bug me to spend money. So a lot of guys, you hear foreigners talking about those dang Filipinos. All they want you for is your money. Well, it's not true. She's very, very budget conscious. She's a very simple woman, and she knows that the money I have saved is for her future and as well as mine, and that it's important to be good with our money.
Oh, I think you hit a jackpot. I think you hit
Yeah,
somebody that you can trust. That is kind of very
yeah,
important. Because other
yeah,
than that, I'm very happy for you. You seems like you hit a good Filipina.
yeah.
So
And
and
another thing about her, I forgot to tell you this. When I met her,
uh-huh.
I found out she always wanted to marry a foreigner. From the age of
Is that right?
16,
Oh wow.
she had a friend who had a foreigner boyfriend, a friend that was
Oh.
older than her. And so
Oh.
she made up her mind that she was going to marry a foreigner.
So you're
And
the
so she was held out.
you're
Yeah,
her dream. You're her dream, right?
yeah, I'm her dream man. Yeah,
Good for you. Good for you. Anyway,
yeah,
so Jeff, I really appreciate your time. And then maybe one day we'll see. Maybe we can also talk to your wife. On next time.
yeah.
But
Let
appreciate.
me say some more good things about the Philippines. I told you about the food,
Yeah.
but I like the people here.
Mm-hmm.
People here are very, very nice. There have been a lot of chances for people to rip me off here.
Uh huh.
In Cebu, I was at a Pier 1 terminal catching a ferry.
Right.
I dropped the money out of my pocket. Someone pointed out, "Sir, you dropped your money." I walk around
Wow.
with a bag. I don't carry a wallet. I carry a bag, and it has a zipper pocket on the side where I keep my money. Sometimes I leave that open. I forget to zip it. People say, "Sir, your pocket is open. You're going to get robbed."
That's
"Sir, your pocket is
amazing.
open." I don't know how many times people
Well,
have
you
told
know
me that.
what? You're in
People are
Ormoc.
nice here. They take things in stride. I put a picture on my Facebook page. We just had a lot of flooding here. A couple of guys sitting in the flooding around their house drinking a Red Horse, and they just take things in stride here. They don't let things get them down. They have a very positive attitude about life here because it's hard here for Filipinos. It's rough. I pray for my family every day that they will prosper because poverty is
I
everywhere
think
here.
it's the because also Ormoc City is more like a province.
It is.
Unlike
It is a province thing.
unlike Cebu probably it's going to be different, or Manila,
Yeah.
it's going to be different. So I think you're in a good place, So
Right.
if you're gonna suggest to a foreigner like that thinking of retiring in the Philippines, though, uh, hold on. What would you the most important thing is what would you tell them, for a foreigner?
Well, make sure you have income to come here and survive. So you need, like my pension is about 1,500 a month.
Mm,
I could survive on that, but I couldn't. I would not thrive here just on that pension. You need some savings,
yeah.
and I recommended in my one of my videos. I went a little bit high. I said $200,000 in savings. If you've got 50,000, that would be great. But you've got to have a savings
Yeah,
account when you come here.
50. I think 50 is kind of dangerous, though, don't you think? Like,
50 is the bottom line. Yeah,
probably
I
bottom
wouldn't come
line.
here with less than 50,000 because you're going to need emergency expenses.
Yep.
You're going to stay here for 20 years, and your pension. You're going to have unexpected expenses. So
Yes.
make sure you can have some income. If you're coming here on a military retirement of 3 or 4 thousand pesos a month, I mean dollars a month, that's great, and you can still save money while you're here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Go find some place. Come here and visit. If you're not sure where you're going, if you're coming here alone without a
Uh-huh.
wife, visit 2 or 3 different places. Come and stay for 2 or 3 months and tour the Philippines. Find a place that you like.
Mm-hmm.
If you're my age and you're starting to have health problems, you need doctors. Find a city. Ormoc is about as small a city as you can survive in, I think,
Mm-hmm.
with doctors. We have 3 or 4 hospitals. We have cardiologists, gastroenterologists, kidney doctors, diabetes doctors, lung doctors. We have specialties here. We
Uh-huh.
don't have an MRI in Ormoc, but so you need a sizable city for those kinds of services. Now, if you don't care about that, you can live out in the country. You know, it happens in America. People live in the country without those services
Mm-hmm.
that are close by. You have to travel to see a doctor, a
Uh-huh.
specialist. So you can do that. But those are the kind of things I would try to plan on. Plan on the heat. My body has gone through an adjustment here.
Yeah.
My wife complains about the heat more than I do now. Plan on your drinking water is not going to be safe. You got to have bottled water.
Yeah.
Things like that. You're going to make adjustments in your lifestyle here. Be prepared to do that. Don't come here and whine and complain. You complain a little bit, but you're going to have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, don't come here. Don't come here and expect everything to be like it is in America, because it's just not going to work.
Yeah, you have to adjust to the country. Like when I moved to US, I have to adjust to to
Yeah,
the
exactly.
culture. You don't try to change the culture. You are the one who have to
Right.
adjust to the culture. So
Learn
very very
learn
very
some language before you come.
yeah.
I don't think because you have to, but because if you speak a little bit of the language here, people love you for it.
Yep,
They
exactly.
smile and they're happy that you've tried to learn their language.
Yeah, they giggle, when they see a foreigner speaking their language, they just
Yeah,
love it. They think you're
it
cool, you're
makes them
super
feel close
cool.
with you. You'll get more help out of people here
Yep.
when you try to fit in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very good advice, Jeff. Again, thanks so much for your time, today, and I appreciate it. I'll put your channel link to this video, and
All
so
right, thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
Take care. Good
see you
luck.
later.
See you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.